What is up, you degenerates? Remember, hitting women is wrong, so smash that like and subscribe button instead. Hell, pound that keyboard rapidly, leave me a sexy ass comment or an angry ass comment. I love it all. It makes my channel go bump 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 all through the night. But today we're going to be taking a little break from bump bumping and go and take a look back at Homefront The Revolution, developed by your boys over at Dam Buster Studios. Now, if that name sounds familiar and you've been watching my channel, that's right, I recently stroked off their most recent game, Dead Island 2, which tickled my prostates in all the right ways. So I decided that I had such a beautiful deep connection with that game, I would give the game they made last a full body inspection. From tits to taint, I always say. Homefront The Revolution started early development in September 2011. I actually had this dream where they started the whole game idea, the plotting of the device, one would say, on the actual 11th by watching the towers fall. Now, yeah, that joke's a little fucked up, and why would I want that? Because I think 9/11 jokes are kind of funny. And also, what's more fitting to set yourself in the mental state for making a game about an assault on America by watching an assault on America? Well, am I the only one in this camp? Fuck, maybe I'm the asshole here. But from all accounts, the game's development went pretty smoothly, even though at every second of development around the people making this game, shit was spewing from the ceilings, anal seepage everywhere. They had to buy goddamn canoes so they could hold their computers above the sewage. Because even though they were currently afloat, another game that was being worked at the studio was not afloat. They were in all sorts of shit creek, and that was Crysis 3. Because you see, the reception pre-launch for that game from the studio and people testing it was a fucking shit salad. They were shoveling some diarrhea down their gullet, and that's what people were feeling, that's what the studio was feeling, and they decided they needed to hanker down and truly make it a masterpiece, considering the first game spawned the meme, "Can it play Crysis?" because the game looks so goddamn pretty. The second game reinvented this first game in the ability to tell a fucking story, and then the third game had to continue that story that was started in the second. With all the reception that the second got, they had to hit it out of the goddamn park, and for that they needed all hands on deck to work that shaft. Work that shaft. Up and down, watch it blow. And together like busy little bees, they worked their little asses off, and in 2013 the game launched, and the reception was wonderful, because Crysis 3, you see, was a refined gentleman when it came to slapping clit. It was like, "Mah, is that a clitoris I see? Let me slappeth upon it." Now with a newfound confidence, they decided to go back to the project they were currently working on previously, Homefront The Revolution. A new look at Homefront. Just a whole revitalization is what they were gonna do. But now they just did Crysis 3 and they did something remarkable, so it's time to let their ambitions go frickin' hog wild. All the original ideas that were scrapped so this could be a tight, single, story-driven experience? Nah, fuck that. We're back to an open world, baby. We're back to guerrilla warfare on every street corner. That's right. This is going to be our goddamn Far Cry in Homefront. But it wasn't all sunshine and muff mouth for this studio right here, because you see, it was going to be co-published by Deep Silver, and Dam Buster ran into some financial issues around this time, probably due to this weird ambition that they decided to take their game and double the size of it. Regardless of what caused it, it was there and they needed to do something and quick. But you see, Deep Silver was there and they loved Dam Buster Studios, and they were like, "Hey, we have such a deep sexual desire for your studio. We want you to come be a part of us. We have faith in your vision." And that's what goddamn happened. They got fucking acquired in the middle of building this game. Because what's more impressive than having two studios that love each other truly, deeply, and raunchily, be able to sit by the water cooler every day and just pipe the other out, because that is exactly what started to happen with these two, and to this very day, in fact. But let's get back to the game at hand, because like I said, throughout this entire process, from all accounts, Homefront was fucking chugging along. It was doing everything right in the eyes of the people making the game. Little did they know they were in for one hell of a rude awakening, because on May 17th of 2016, when this game was brought to market, it got shit reviewed reviews. Nearly everywhere you look, you will see terrible reviews for this game. You go to Metacritic and look at all three scores. You're looking at a PC at a 54, a 48 on the PlayStation, and a 49 on the Xbox. That's Metacritic though, and we all know they consider Jim Sterling's fat ass a fucking trusted source, and nobody's more of a loser than he is. So being the most objectively reliable and resourceful YouTuber on this entire platform, I decided to embark on a journey to see if this game is as bad as people say it is, or are they just being fucking little sissy woo-woos. So firing this game up, I find out right away that the way it's going to rupture the hymen is by telling you that instead of just doing a, oh, America's fallen by an evil country thing, it's doing an alternate history thing, like goddamn Wolfenstein. But this kind of doesn't work for me, because what this game does is, for lack of a better word, fucking retarded. Because let me run you through the premise real quick. You know Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, fucking Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, all of these fucking tech guys that have built America to be this tech fucking industrial revolution bullshit that we are? Yeah, none of them exist. No Todd Howard, no Fallout, just North Korea. And using this genius tech, they bring iPads to the West and say, hey, you fucking primitive losers, here's some great technology. And we're like, oh, you're dictators? Well, that seems pretty cringe. But we would love to take all of your technology. And not only are they giving us like iPads and shit, they're also all of the guns and planes and helicopters and boats and cars run off of this tech as well. So we're just taking all of this tech from this dictator country, this fucking socialist communist bullshit state, and we're just like, yeah, that's cool. We'll just use our entire military industrial complex. We'll run off of it. Oh, you have the back end, North Korea? No problem. You'll never screw us over. And guess what? They fucking screw us over. America falls. And that's the premise. It's stupid, especially when right now you have TikTok on the verge of being closed every fucking 3 seconds. They're just an app filled with people calling other people racist. It's a fucking app where people have to brag about how much money they spent on their fucking furry costumes. It's cringe lord central, and all it is like a worse YouTube. That's all TikTok is. Yeah, it has a back end to China. I get it. It's bad. But the fact that they're talking about closing that, and in this game, the whole premise is built off of the entire military industrial complex having its technology come from North Korea, don't buy it. Fucking, my suspension of disbelief is broken. This is a stupid concept. But I wasn't gonna let this stupid concept stop me from playing the game. No, I am diligent, you see. I was going to truck further. I was gonna go deeper with my small penis than it has the ability to go in the wet caverns of life. Getting thrown instantly into generic soldier of the revolution number 5 as he gets the rundown of all the terrible shit going on in his neighborhood. Oh, but wait! Oh, the people telling you how bad things are? Well, they're gonna die. All of them. And you see a better game. A better game right here would have been like, we're gonna build some story up. We're gonna push in this guerrilla warfare tactics thing we're going for. We're gonna be like Tom Clancy. This game's like, nah, fuck. Anybody that's gonna be in the first room of the game, they're gonna die for shock value. Well, what does it do for the story? A shock value. We're just doing a shock value thing. Fuck story, shock value is what we need. And this carries right over into the next section where you're tied to a fucking chair and you think, oh, maybe they're going to build some characters, we're all going to break out, you know somebody's going to come save us, so you're kind of thinking, how are they going to do it? And of course they just kill everybody in the room, give everybody a lead nap. It's bullshit. It's more shock value instead of actually writing characters that are just like, look at all the shit happening. And then a guy shows up to fucking save you. And it sucks because this moment could have set up like at least the evil general that you hate because he killed these people. Nah, he fucking died. The guy that saves you, he's kind of worthless because he gets shot, but you do use your weapon of mass destruction, a fucking Nokia cell phone. Wow, that's pretty entertaining. It's fucking hilarious, this scene. He throws a cell phone at the dude's face, and that's enough to get him distracted so your guy can kill him. This game already had lost me with its stupidity at a pretty early point. When the only takeaway you can have from the main character in your game at the beginning is that anybody near him was probably gonna get shot, that's a pretty bad character note. That's the only thing we know about this son of a bitch. It honestly felt a little like looking into the toilet bowl after a spray and splatter session, only to find a cacophony of toilet paper and milky brown, leaving you somehow feeling lesser as a person, knowing you brought that monstrosity into the world, knowing that if you would have just added a little fiber to your diet, a little bit of substance, everything would be a little better. But again, I push on, because I haven't even got to a real what this game is going to be. I haven't even seen action yet other than throwing a cell phone. So with my dear leader shot, I push him over into a room and I set out on an adventure to get supplies. Utilizing this miniature open world segment is kind of a tutorial, doing side quests, fetch quests, getting all sorts of medical supplies, where you're supposed to utilize stealth and parkour to navigate through the neighborhood, or at least that's what I think it was going for. In actual application, it's almost like switching out your dad's rum with iced tea, only there really isn't any rum left. At this point, it's just shitting tea, which then leads to your father's realization that there's no rum left in his bottle, so he beats you within an inch of your life with a waffle iron. I mean, at least I think that's what would happen. I say I had a dad that loved me and wasn't an alcoholic. So what does this analogy have to do with anything? Nothing. And that's the point, because all of this side questing you're doing, all this stealth and parkour that really doesn't work that well and seems kind of pointless, is pointless because your little dear leader guy gets captured while you're running these fucking stealth errands. So none of it fucking matters! And with him captured and you fucking stuck with a bunch of medical supplies, you might as well follow out the rest of his mission and go to where he was heading, so you then go to get jumped by the rest of the Resistance crew. I mean, they literally beat the shit out of you the first experience you have with them. What is this, fucking Metro? Anyway, you then meet these fucking unlikable and generic lactation crickets of characters. Most of them come off as either insufferable douchebags or complete sociopaths that only live within 2 dimensions at the hand of a 4-year-old. I say this as someone, when looking back at my own original characters of my childhood, where I can see the same unoriginal derivative slop as represented in this game. At the point in this storytelling, I had pretty much lost interest, because although the environmental storytelling was top-notch, almost every moment you move through this tattered occupation of America, you feel a sense of awe. From every occupied zone to every tattered street to every homeless guy sitting begging for money, it looks goddamn interesting, and it's begging, pleading for you to just want to dive in. But everything around this game seems to not want you to. Let's put it in a little bit of perspective. Now, I don't think this game needed like a main antagonist to push it forward. I think environmental storytelling, when done right, can be the true ticket to a wonderful game. Look at Halo Combat Evolved, for example. That game didn't really have a main antagonist. Yes, the Flood in the hierarchy of the Flood would be considered an antagonist, I guess. And at the beginning of the game, when you're on the ship, you have this wonderful piece of scenery. You're looking around as while this ship is getting tattered and invaded. You feel a sense of urgency, only to then be let loose on what seems like a calm, peaceful planet of awe and inspiration. And you're just listening to Cortana tell you about every single nook and cranny of the Covenant, talking about the Covenant, the world, the Ring, and it's just all these wonderful symphonies moving you through the game itself. Halo straight up kicks you off your feet, lands you on a table, straps you down, and then kisses your body, having you beg for a sweet, sweet release. It's a wonderful experience, and I felt like this Homefront game could have that, only the game gives you fuck all to work with. And it sucks, because you go to all these different zones, you'll see fully occupied places that seem nicer, but you know that on the outside of that main street, it looks like dog shit, and you're like, yes, this is what I want. Give me the fucking BioShock experience here, because I can see hints of it, I can see inspiration of it, but it doesn't. It's such a conundrum that I really only have one true way to explain it that I think will reach all of you. Think of the person you love more than anything in the entire universe. When you see them, your heart warms arms and you feel comfortable, only to come home one day and sitting on the couch smiling back at you is not that person. It looks like them, it seems like them, and when they smile, a sense of dread shoots down your spine, and as you sit next to them, saying to yourself that your eyes can't be lying to you, that is the woman you love. Your body needs to stop this goddamn reaction to what should be a beautiful moment of just spending some time with your loved one. You know something's wrong, and as they smile and inch closer to you, that dread gets bigger, and by the time you realize that it is too late, it's too fucking late, and they harvest you to create a mimic out of your fucking body, out of your loose fucking skin. That is what this game's environment does to me. It's a mimic of a good game. And this is even echoed into the gunplay, the one thing that I thought had true potential. The moments of actual greatness to be had in this game are with the gunplay in and of itself. Now, is it anything to write home about? No, it's not like the best you've ever played, but it's fun enough. There is something truly engaging to be had there. I'm talking about some real ball-clenching fun. Now let me break it down with you. So there is basically 5 very distinct weapon platforms, one would say. You have an RPG, you have a battle rifle, a crossbow, an assault rifle, and a pistol. I know that when you're thinking, well, that doesn't sound very interesting, that's a smooth brain to take, you fucking moron, because this is where the fun begins. Because each of these classes can be modified to a completely new weapon. 3 of each, except for the RPG, it kind of just stays a rocket launcher, but all the other 4 can change to monumentally different designs. When you're looking at your battle rifle, you can go to a sniper rifle, a battle rifle, or a fucking grenade launcher that explodes in red, white, and blue. Then you go to a pistol. You have a laser pistol, a regular pistol, and then on top of that, a fucking Uzi. Same thing goes for your crossbow and your assault rifle platforms. There is much fun to be had in this constant of switching up variety, because though you always have to have your pistol installed, you get 2 other weapons to choose. So you could be running the assault rifle with the fucking battle rifle, but that secretly could be a rocket launcher, goddamn flamethrower combo or whatever. It's just a wonderful constant mismatching, and you can change these platforms within these guns constantly throughout the playthrough. It's not like you have to choose, okay, I want assault and then I want this category of assault. No, you can switch on the dime by just pulling the gun up and looking at it. It is a truly amazing gameplay loop and design just in what you can do with the weapons right there. I thought that was such a cool idea. And though this creates a giant fun of just switching up gameplay experiences throughout your run, the only real problem you run into is the AI in the gameplay itself, if that makes sense. Like, take for example, you want to do a mission all sneaky like. I know I'm not really the sneaky guy and I don't usually play games to be the stealth master, but I played myself some fucking Splinter Cell, and I decided one mission I was going to go in all fucking Splinter Cell style. So I put the silencer that I just bought on my pistol, I sneak in, I shoot a camera, all of a sudden I got 40 guys on my ass, and they all seem to already know where I'm at. So I'm like, well, that didn't fucking work. I guess I can't shoot out cameras, and I guess my silencer doesn't work with video game logic, which pisses me off, because this game seems to be LARPing as a fucking Tom Clancy game. You'd think it would take some inspiration from the best Tom Clancy game, but I guess not. So I then decide, okay, I'll just pick off each one of these guys simultaneously with my pistol by sneaking up on them, because yeah, there's a takedown animation, but I wanted to do the snipey thing with the pistol. Nope, once you shoot one guy in the head, he turns around because it takes 2 bullets to kill somebody in the head. Oh no, now everybody knows and everybody's on your ass. And this game isn't just like a normal game where when you shoot them and they turn around, you're like, oh fuck, I'll kill them really quick. No, you get a wanted level, just like this is fucking GTA, and the only way to get away from that wanted level is to run and find a trash can to jump into, like fucking Hitman. This game seems to just pick and choose what it wants from other games without understanding why that worked for the specific game. And yes, the actual run and gun gameplay can be pretty fun in this game. You can also get overpowered incredibly quickly because this game almost wants to LARP as the guerrilla fucking stealth game, but it doesn't have any good stealth mechanics added into the game to make this shit work. So the only real plausible way to play this game is run and gun, but you constantly will have yourself at odds and at death with this method. So where is the fun to be had with this? Well, drop the game down to easy and do the run and gun method, and you'll have some modicums of fun, but you will still eventually get bored because of the quest design in this game. Now let me break the quest design down for you. Well, the real harebrained, genius, monumental quest design. You see, every zone has different location points, like most open world games, most Ubisoft style open world games, and what you do is you go to each one of these zones and you capture them, unlocking not only currency for you to use, which gives you 2 fucking random currencies because 1 wasn't enough, I guess. You then go to the next section and you finally unlock this whole area for your the revolution to now have it occupied, and then you go to the next open world section. There was a total of 3. Well, when you get to the next open world section, they then sprinkle in some more bullshit that you have to do. It's like, oh, well, you can't conquer these zones until you fucking turn on enough radios or blow up enough fucking chargers. Then the next area adds in some more bullshit. Well, now here's some gas lines that you would just have to strap some bombs to. Well, you didn't really want to use the sticky bomb? Well, you better go craft it, or you'll never be able to accomplish the area. So it's just tedious quest after tedious quest after tedious quest, and the whole time, the fucking main missions are basically just fetch quests to begin with, so the whole game's breaking down into this tedious, ad nauseum, fucking boring slog of garbage. I went around turning on radios for a fucking hour, and I still hadn't unlocked the right amount of things, and it said I needed enough fucking happy points with the people in the city to be able to unlock this zone. I'm like, alright, I'll fucking get these happy points. Well, you can't just turn on radios. No. You have to do all the other little bullshit at the same time. Those points don't accumulate as one big fucking fund. No, you have to have a bunch of little ones together to make this happen. It's garbage. It's the most tedious, annoying, grindy garbage. And then when you go into a main quest, it's the same thing, just in a main quest form with dialogue from people you already don't like. And the fact that each of these zones, just, you look at a new zone and when it opens up and you're like, oh my god, another fucking giant laundry list of bullshit, it makes this entire experience in Philadelphia, born and raised, killing Koreans most of my days, boring as fucking shit. And yes, I know the rhyme was fucking garbage, but it was there and I had to go for it. But all of this hit a huge breaking point for me when I was on a escort mission with a giant armored vehicle and 6 wheels. And you'd think, having 6 wheels, it would be able to just zoom around with you wherever you want to go. Really all I was doing was following the fucking roads, and it couldn't even manage that because it kept hitting these like giant walls of dried semen that was holding it back, and I just said, fuck it, I can't play this game anymore, I'm done, this is trash. If a fucking 6-wheeler, the type of vehicle that are made to go over everything, can't go over everything, it might have had 4 wheels, I can't remember, but it had enough wheels to where it should have been able to handle the 6 rocks in front of it. I couldn't handle this game anymore. And though I will never finish this game, and I'll never recommend anybody to play it because I think it's fucking garbage, there is some sad and greatness in the potential, the true wonder this game could have been. And there's so many directions it could have gone if it would have just scrapped the fucking Ubisoft design and went with something like even maybe in a tongue-in-cheek direction. Or there's endless media that they could have pulled from, such as Terminator, RoboCop, or Judge Dredd, just to name a few. Taking some hard sci-fi, mixing in with some satire on in a fallen America, and presto, you have something that could have really been interesting. Or go the route of goofy American exceptionalism. Take a parody of that. Give the game a raunchy protagonist in the vein of Duke Nukem or Lil Wayne. Having these outlandish characters deal with these very serious situations where all hell is breaking loose, but they don't seem to give a damn because they're fucking giga-chads from America. That could have been a very fun way to twist this, and you could have even put in some great satire, maybe against a certain governmental ideal, much like a BioShock or a Postal. It would have been nice to see something like that with a strong protagonist to push your way through it, even if they were a silent protagonist. I mean, another great thing this game could have done was add a tyrant, something like Wolfenstein, where you could really sink your teeth into a very evil, horrid monster of a human, pushing your beautiful country to its death. I can completely see a version of a reality where this game is considered a masterpiece, where instead of following every single gaming trend only to make more boring iterations of them, then to craft an actual game of substance about America falling. There is true beauty in the American spirit, and even if they would have added in some satire about the things they don't like in America, they could also highlight the strength at which we will go through in order to save our little fucked up country that we live in. A game that could have stood up and said, yeah, America can be fucked up in every position listed in the Kama Sutra. Just ask me, Mutahar, from Some Ordinary Gamer. But it's our country, goddammit, and we're here to fight. The fact that in the days I played this game, I never once had the feeling of anything close to this is criminal. And there's a fucking weapon, like I said, that fires rockets. But I didn't mention they explode in red, white, and blue. That should have been something cool that made me pumped. But I felt dead inside, something I never thought I would say about a design that fucking awesome. Another game this could have gone with that would have rocked some cocks is if it decided to show the horrors of war in the hands of a fascist regime, where throughout the campaign, in the entire story, you're constantly reminded that the mission you are on is a hopeless struggle, but that for some reason, and you and everyone around you has hope. And the saddest part about this last direction that I think the game could have gone in to be wonderful is I think that's actually what they were going for. It's just, they never really came close to accomplishing that goal. Not even in the slightest. All the characters just seem to waltz through these horrific situations like it's typical Tuesday. And it's sad because this could have been the Platoon of the modern era in gaming though. This could have been that fucking heart of darkness, brilliance. But instead of feeling pain when your brothers in arms died right next to you, you don't give a shit. Instead of having chaos raining out on each side of you, it's just kind of boring fetch quests. And that's criminal. The fact that Terminator Resistance exists out there and this game couldn't even hold itself up to something like that. I mean, the Terminator Resistance guys hit it out of the park because they're one of the best studios to do it. But at the same time, the fact that this was going in its own direction, forging its own path, and I can see a world where you're making hard decisions to topple a fascist regime at the same time of dealing with real at-war horrors such as you would see in Platoon, it's just criminal that this game has no hard choices. It has no depth. It just fucking is a wet, soggy, limp dick. And to be frank with you, it's a surprise that Dead Island 2 ever was released, especially with these guys heading the project at all, because they could have easily been closed after this project. It was that bad. This was their fucking Saints Row reboot. They had taken the Homefront, which was a game that people thought had a lot of potential, revitalized it, decided to re-release it, have a whole new story, a whole new premise, really do the thing fucking right, and they just fell on their fat asses again. And if it wasn't for the studio's gunplay, I don't think they would have ever been put on fucking Dead Island 2. But they had potential, and they were seen as having potential, and they pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. They said, hey, yeah, we dropped the fucking ball with narrative in this game, and we put way too much boring shit to do in the game. We're gonna tighten up our next experience, give a very similar game, and if you're ever thinking about playing Homefront The Revolution, the better iteration of that is Dead Island 2. They took their good ideas that they had in Homefront The Revolution and put them in Dead Island 2, so you can play the game that was what Dead Island could, or what Homefront could have been, is Dead Island 2. And with that, there's really nothing else I can say about this massive piece of shit. And I hope you at least enjoyed my video and had a fun time going through my rage of horrors that I spent with this piece of trash media that I have gone through. Thank you so much. Leave a comment. I appreciate all of you, and I'm out.